Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is April 2nd, 2025, and we are looking at Proverbs chapter 2. Now, I am going to tell you something. I have had a request that we go and look at something other than the Proverbs. The person came to me and said, I love how you go through the Proverbs and all of that, but can't we go back and look at Psalm 119 again? Which tells me they've been watching for a little while because it's been a few years since I've done something other than that. And I did go through Proverbs 119 a while back. I went through and I did each letter of the acrostic at a time. And I taught you how to not only go through it, but then pray that out over your life. And it was good. But let me explain to you why here on the Biker Devotional I primarily stick to Proverbs. It's because it has everything in it. It may be shorthand, but it has everything in it that I've learned every place else. Everywhere else in Scripture reaffirms what I learn in Proverbs. And that is very helpful to me. This morning, looking at Proverbs chapter 2, starting in verse 10, it says, For wisdom will enter your mind, knowledge will delight your heart, discretion will watch over you, and understanding will guard you, rescuing you from the way of evil, from the one who says perverse things, from those who abandon the right path to walk the way of darkness, from those who enjoy doing evil and celebrate perversion, whose paths are crooked and whose ways are devious. If you go to Psalm 119, verse 1, or chapter 1, or the first letter in Psalm 119, verse 5, he says, If only my ways were committed to keeping your statutes, then I would not be ashamed when I think about all your commands. The reality is, the wisdom of Proverbs and the wisdom of Psalm 119 is the wisdom of God. And they tend to say the same things, maybe in different ways. If only I paid attention to your statutes, paid attention to the right way, then I'd have the right things. But if I follow the wrong things, I get the wrong things. Psalm 119. The Alif, the A, or the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, tells us the same message. So my challenge to you today is, while it may be discouraging sometimes to hear me come in and just look at the book of Proverbs, I hope that I'm doing more than just bringing out the wisdom of Solomon. But I am sharing with you that wisdom is the wisdom of God, and it is throughout all of Scripture. We need to be all in for Jesus Christ. You know, when Moses was talking to the Israelites just before they're ready to go in and finally take the land that was promised after the 40 years in the desert, knowing that he's going to have to go the way of the world and that he's not going to get to go in and see it, he reminds all of them that they're not getting it because they're good. They're getting it because all the other people that are there are bad. And, oh, by the way, I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. God makes promises to you and I, and he doesn't keep those promises necessarily because we're good. He keeps those promises because he's good. And if it means we get something that someone else may have had, it's because, well, they probably weren't good. We're also reminded in the New Testament that no one is good. No, not even one. I'm not good. I know that. But I can strive to live right. I don't have to be one that abandons the right path to walk in ways of darkness and enjoy doing evil, celebrating perversion. I can be, Proverbs chapter 2, verse 21, the upright will inhabit the land, and those of integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the treacherous uprooted from it. I only get to inhabit the land because of God's promise. Not because I'm something special. The kingdom of heaven is here, Jesus has said. The only reason I get that is because it's a promise from God. I should be striving to live right every day because he kept his promise, not because it gets me something. So, yes, I love all of the Bible, and I read it every day. Not all of it. I read through the Bible every year. But I read a portion of Scripture out of the Old Testament, out of the Psalms, and out of the New Testament every day. I do a little bit of study, and I read my Proverbs every day. I immerse myself in it. Not nearly as much as I should. God's been reminding me that I need more. So when I come to you every day with the chapter of Proverbs that corresponds with the date, it's because I've been doing this for years, and I'm not going to change my pattern. And I also understand that if you're tired of it, you may need to go hear something new. I can understand that. I'm guessing, though, it's because it may be pushing on areas in your life that need to change in your life, and you'd rather not look at those. And if you don't hear it, you don't have to deal with it. So this morning, as you're thinking about what I've said today, remember this. Whether I'm sharing with you from Proverbs, or I'm sharing with you from Matthew, or I'm sharing with you from Psalm or Deuteronomy, or wherever I might be sharing with you from, the reality is, if I'm listening to the Spirit of God and I'm speaking what He's saying, He's going to push those buttons anyway. Because it's the same, and He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. The message will be what you need to hear if you're hearing someone speaking from God. I just hope you hear it from me. I love y'all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.